Hi everyone. Uh, First of all, I would like to welcome to everyone, and we'll wait for a couple of minutes for others to join, and then we'll kick off the session. Hi, okay, so we are kicking off the session. Good afternoon, good morning, based on the region which you have joined. I'm happy to see such a diverse group of participants today, and I would like to welcome everyone. Uh, we'll be taking a session of Opti and AAR that would be for 1 hour. And I'll quickly introduce myself. My name is Neha Gaba. I am one of the co-presenter for today's OptiSco and AAR Stellar session. With me, I have my colleague and co-presenter Siddharth with me, and I'll quickly introduce myself. I do have a prior experience of more than 6 years into the digital marketing, worked across different agencies where I executed different campaigns, analyzed data, and conducted market research. I will be your OptiScore expert today. And I would quickly like to call out Siddharth to introduce himself. Siddharth, please go ahead.
Yeah, hi everybody. So good to be here. Welcome one and all to this OptiStellar session. I'm going to be talking about auto apply recommendations, or how you make sense of all of the auto apply recommendations that you see on the recommendations dashboard, and how you can, kind of like leverage auto apply recommendations to make the best sense of those recommendations to keep your account healthy and, grow your business. So looking forward to it. Over to you, Neha. Take it away.
Thanks, Siddharth. Okay. So, before I kick off the session, I would quickly call out some amazing opportunities for the participants who are attending today, which they can take advantage and become a part of. While we're taking this session, as you can see, their participants can take part in a Google Swag Challenge. You can see towards the right hand side of there is a on the screen there's a QR code. I request you to scan the code, enter your valid CIDs, fill in the requested details on the Google form, and engage with us with as many queries and product feedback. Based on your engagement, the qualified participant will get the chance to meet one of our PE product experts and the product lead teams, and they can also become a part of PE community. Having said that, please feel free to ask any questions, any queries. If you're joined from ads on air, you can use the comment section, and if you're joined from a YouTube, kindly use the chat box section for your queries. Now, with further ado, I would kick off the session for today. Before that, let's take a moment to review the agenda of of today. Our primary objective today is to delve into the key aspects of how Google AI is integrated to understand your account's health, give OptiScore recommendations, and then we'll take a deep dive into what is autoplay recommendations, what are different type of autoplay recommendations, and towards the end of this session, we'll brainstorm into the different ideas and what are the best strategies which you can implement based on your business objective to increase your Google account health and uplift your overall account score. Throughout the session, the active participation and open communications are encouraged. Please feel free to ask any questions, share your insights. Moving on. Now, here you could see that there is a partnership. Now, to begin with the OptiScore, it is critical to comprehend that in digital world, how does partnership between the marketers is happening and how the marketers are taking the leverage of automated AI and how they coexist in the market space. A marketer identifies the niche, finds the customer persona based on the business, and then they plan out a strategy to reach out to the target audience. And in that case, how AI enables to reach out to those potential customers is based on what is the input you have given, what is your business objectives, what are the strategies you have used, what is the performance history, and the data. What would AI do is they would explore that based on the all the data that the input you have provided, they would explore the potential customers in the real time and showcase your ad to the right users at the right time in the real time and brings the incremental ROI to your business. Moving on. Now here you could see a person who is juggling between couple of tasks. So, in this case, what you can see is a marketer has to wear multiple hats while carrying out the marketing strategies. It requires the multiple skill set and a transition between different roles, starting from effectively managing the campaigns, analyzing the market trends, identifying the target audience, and developing the marketing plans that align with your business goals. Later on, then optimizing the campaigns, reviewing the insights, and scaling the campaigns accordingly. So, on an individual level, doing all these strategic tasks on the regular basis is pretty time consuming and overwhelming. And the speed, as we all know, that is the market trends are changing at exponential rate, and it becomes pretty challenging for the marketers to keep up with them manually in the real time. And that's where the automation has taken place and in imperative to incorporate that AI in the marketing in order to drive profit to your business. Moving on, you could see here is the technological observation that we have observed. Now, here I'll briefly touch how the automation with the human input reported the growth for your business. As represented on the screen, it has been observed that the automation with the human input has contributed to 15% growth, and the companies which were using different technologies and in the incorporation with that, they have drive the growth of 20%. So in a nutshell, we could understand here is with the human input AI and with the technology, the overall contribution of the growth has been 35%. And hence, which makes it very important to use the AI automation and the machine learning for your marketing strategies. Now, here I would like to call out that what is a typical work day for the agency account manager in the daily life. To begin with, implementing the hygiene recommendation, then setting up the campaign with specific budget and bidding strategies. Then they would analyze the campaign performance, optimize the campaign, and then initiate the strategic planning and execution to drive and expand more growth opportunities. When we discuss about the hygiene recommendations, this the couple of things fall into that particular thing. To begin with, we could start from a keyword planner where we would research the keywords with a higher search volume that would align to your business goals and are relevant to your business. And then based on that, we'll be using high resolution creatives and create the ad copies with a good quality score, and hence which would result in high CTR. And then moving on, the whole would optimize the overall campaign structure. Moving on to the next specific goal is that based on the specific advertising goals, you would identify what is the budget that you want to keep. And then you would target that particular audience, choosing the right bidding strategies as manual CPC, enhanced CPC, value based bidding such as maximize conversion value, target ROAS, target CPA, conversions, and conversion value. Now, once you would run a particular campaign, you would review the insights, search the terms, review the auction reports to review the results, and then initiate the experiments. Checking the best converting landing pages and optimizing for your driving the growth results is what is the basic task that has been carried out on a regular basis. Now, I do understand that a lot of practitioners are overwhelmed with all these tasks. So, here comes the optimization score and how it is helpful for your business and how it would increase and uplift and bring the incremental ROI to your business. Now, as I mentioned before we take into the consideration that is optimization score, how the optimization score works is based on all the input data that you have given, which we discussed about bidding strategies, the conversion action goals, the objective, everything on and whole would combine. And that is the learning the Google AI and machine learning would take, and based on that the particular recommendations are given. Well, let's suppose the optimization score, but first of all the optimization score varies from 0 to 100, where 100 would identify themselves as their maximum or fully potential, and your, let's say the opti score is 74%, which means there is a scope of 26% uplift in the opti score. Now, what would Google AI and ML understand that there are certain areas of improvement in this particular campaign account? The OptiScore recommendations work on account level, MCC level, and the campaign level. Now, what would happen here is the each recommendation card, as you can see here, is 85.6 because that is relevant to that. The each recommendation card would have a uplift score, and based on that particular implementation, you can apply those that recommendation, and it would be done in the real time. Now, what the optimized course first is instant. You can when you apply it, it would happen in the real time. It is personalized because we have given our own basic business objectives and input. So it would be personalized as per your campaign. These are actionable and these are scalable, and hence, as we discussed before, all the strategic start that were being carried out by a user or by the practitioners or the marketers, now the time has been reduced because that these recommendations can be populated or surfaced on your screen. Towards your right hand side, you can see there are features. These are available for search, shopping, display, video, and so on. Moving on. Now, the recommendations here is segregated into 6 different parts. Now, first one is the bidding and budgets. Then there is ads and extensions, keywords and targeting. Then there is repair, automated campaigns, and the measurement. In the bidding and budgets, we have budgets and the bidding strategies. What are the room for scope for improvement? Then we have ad and extensions, where there would you could see a couple of recommendations suggesting you to add more site link or promotional extensions or increase the overall score of your ad. Then we have keywords and targeting. There they would focus more towards audiences that you can add, which can be your potential customers, and you can capture more. And then the keywords that you can use in order to drive more results and more conversions and conversion value to your business. Then we have repairs, like for example, you need to add certain ads, some of the RSA is not there, add certain responsive search ads, and then fix the ad text. There are a couple of automated campaigns, that is max performance campaign. In that also, a performance campaign do drive different recommendations for your business. And then there's a measurement. In order to drive the accurate results, it's imperative to by default on the enhanced conversions and track the proper conversions by using the global site tag and everything. Now, as I've mentioned before, just as I've mentioned before, that these recommendations would appear on the system as the understand. There's a scope of improvement. Here you could see that there is an experiment that you could carry out. As we dig deeper into the advanced version of Google Ads, there's a feature called experiments. Let's suppose a practitioners, we do understand because practitioners are a bit reluctant toward making changes to the campaign which are already running in a better way, but they still want to explore more opportunities and test out certain experiments. In that case, you can take the leverage of this feature called experiment. What would happen here is you can test the changes to your existing Google ad campaigns, holding all other variables constant, and then measure the results in order to understand what would be the impact, and will they be beneficial for your campaign, or will they bring more result or more target ROAS or more leads to your campaign. Depending upon that, what you can do is you can split the traffic share, and then you can use the most important thing, which is make your thing which makes it easier, is the one click recommendation feature in the experiment page. You can hover over to that page, Google Ads interface, scroll down towards your left, you could see a experiment section, and then in that case you could apply a one click recommendations, where you can now identify the optimization recommendations which are likely to have great impact on your campaign performance, and based on that you can use those recommendations as an experiment. Moving on, there are a couple of myth busting questions, and most of the questions do come when we discuss it with the practitioners. To begin with, one we have is, once we dismiss the recommendation, is it gone forever? Is it false? The answer to that is no, it's false. It's if it is still valid. Let's suppose you have dismissed a particular recommendation, but that recommendation still gives you a room for improvement, and hence it is bringing more results to your business. It might repopulate in the few weeks, and it would be there on your Google Ads interface. And most of the practitioners again come into this thing: what if that we still don't like that recommendations? And in that case, it is important to give your feedback. Most of the practitioners have this thing that the feedback is pointless, while when they dismiss the recommendations, it's not that. Our product team have have been working a lot on those, and what would happen is all the feedbacks would go directly to the product team so they can continue improving the product. Moving on, again, for those who have joined a bit late, and there's a section where you could take part of. There's a challenge that is Google Swag. You can take part of that particular challenge. Scan the QR code here, put your valid CIDs, and can engage with us with maximum possibilities, and you can become the part of a PE community and would have a chance to meet the product teams. Now, moving on, we have auto apply recommendations. From here, my colleague Siddharth would take over. Over to you, Siddharth.
Hi, thank you, Neha. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your detailed description on all of the OptiScore recommendations and how these OptiScore recommendations actually surface on the recommendations dashboard, right? So moving on, coming over to auto apply recommendations. Well, the first thing that surfaces, and I do appreciate that we have a global audience. People from various regions have joined this particular live stream. So I really appreciate that, and we're also looking forward to you asking some interesting questions on the chat box, right? So when we talk about auto apply recommendations, so basically auto apply recommendations are nothing but a subset of those recommendations that feature within OptiScore recommendations. So the most important thing to understand is that these recommendations are no different from those recommendations that appear in the OptiScore recommendations, but OptiScore has a much wider set of recommendations. Almost 100 plus recommendations sit in the OptiScore section. Whereas, so once you basically go over to your Google Ads front end, you go over to the hover over to the recommendations dashboard, and then from there you are able to see all of the recommendations that are surfacing, right? So within those particular subset of recommendations, of 100 plus recommendations, we have almost 23 recommendations currently that sit under the auto apply recommendations category. Now, how is auto apply recommendations a bit different from OptiScore recommendations? Well, basically all of the OptiScore recommendations that you see on your dashboard, well, those recommendations are being provided to you in real time. Those recommendations are very much, they are not templated recommendations. These are very much personalized recommendations, and basically the recommendations engine uses artificial intelligence from Google in order to understand, very deeply as to what account settings you have made in your particular account, and based on those and covering with Google best practices, it tries to recommend you certain recommendations or certain actionable items that you should look into in order to improve your account health, right? Within those cohort of recommendations, we have almost 23 recommendations that are meant through auto apply. Now, what do we mean when we say that, these recommendations fit under auto apply recommendations? So what happens is that once you opt into a particular auto apply recommendation, right, and you basically go over to the auto apply recommendations tab and you select a particular recommendation to be opted in for your particular account under the auto apply category, what will happen is that for that particular account, whenever that particular recommendation surfaces on the recommendations dashboard, it will automatically get applied, right? So you basically giving Google the leverage to automatically apply that particular recommendation on your behalf in that particular account where you have opted in for that recommendation. One of the most uh, quite asked doubt is that, if I go and click on the auto apply recommendation, would all of the auto apply recommendations automatically get opted in for my account? No, definitely not. You have the complete control as an advertiser and as a digital marketer to select which particular auto apply recommendation you would want to opt in for your particular account. In fact, you can not just select which recommendations you want to opt in using auto apply. You can also, you know pause certain recommendations for some time, that you feel that, during this particular period of time, I do not want to use this particular auto apply recommendation for the time being. And then subsequently, when you find that, now is the right time for me to again opt into this particular auto apply recommendation, you can go and again enable that particular recommendation. In fact, you can also undo a particular recommendation, but that is only for a given specific period of time. Only that for that time period, you can undo a particular recommendation. Now, with auto apply recommendation, what was the intent? The intent was clear, that we wanted to provide marketers, because they are, spending a lot of time doing a lot of standardized activities, they should be able to spend their time more wisely, right? So once you have auto apply recommendations, you are, as an advertiser, you save a lot of time, because you are completely assured that those particular recommendations, whenever they surface on your recommendations dashboard, will automatically get opted in. So you are basically able to spend your time wisely and provide your time into inputs which are more valuable, right? At the same time, it allows you to capture existing demand. Now, basically, what happens is that if you do recommendations, and if you're looking into recommendations quite on a periodic basis, you would actually be setting a periodic time of like a weekly review of your recommendations or a bi-weekly review of your recommendations. Now, mind you, between this time, a lot of recommendations would have surfaced, but because of the lag of time, you would not be able to capture into all of these recommendations as and when they surface. However, when you opt into auto apply recommendations, the moment a particular recommendation surfaces on the recommendations dashboard, automatically that particular recommendation gets opted in, and that is how you are able to be confirmed that that particular recommendation has been opted in real time, right? So you are able to capture into a lot of existing demand, and you are also able to make sure that whenever a particular opportunity exists, which can further improve the optimization of your account, that thing can happen because you have opted into those recommendations using AAR, right? At the same time, you are also able to drive growth opportunities, because auto apply recommendations and OptiScore recommendations leverage the power of Google's artificial intelligence. And through through the artificial intelligence, you will be able to not just scale your business, but you will also be able to improve your overall return on your ad spends and the opportunities that you are able to give, because you will be able to look into and drive, more and more of growth and business opportunities. You will be able to decide wisely as to which auctions you should enter. You will be able to participate in more contextual auctions that make sense for your business and that have a greater probability of conversions. So you will be able to improve your conversions. You will be able to tap into existing opportunities in real time. And at the same time, you will also be able to spend your time wisely as an advertiser. In fact, it is important for me to call out here that auto apply recommendations is not a short term performance enhancer, but look at it as a long term tool that can take you, that can give you improvement in your account over a long period of time, right? Now, as an agency, how you can benefit from auto apply recommendations. Now, one of the most important things is that you can scale these best practices. By using auto apply recommendations, you would actually be able to apply these recommendations at an MCC level. So you will basically be able to be ensured that most of the best practices that make sense for your business, they are being opted in at scale. And so you will be able to save a lot of time and a lot of resources on that particular front. At the same time, you will also be able to improve your overall performance, because the features that take into consideration the auto apply features, they take into consideration all of performance history. They take into consideration your campaign settings and trends across Google to ensure that you have the most relevant recommendations that are applied. you know so basically, all of your auto apply recommendations will actually help the agency in terms of greatly improving the overall performance. Also, it will help you, in terms of boosting your efficiency. And that is because most of your account managers can now spend less time on doing manual activities or standardized activities, and they can basically leverage their time to having more important conversations with clients, building relationships, doing strategy work, right? So those are some of the most important things that they can now spend their time more wisely on, rather than looking at manually optimizing their accounts and spending time there, right? So it gives you a lot of leverage in terms of time and resources that you are able to save on. And at the same time, it is also giving you that improvement in your performance, because it is leveraging on Google's artificial intelligence framework. So these are some of the most important features, how auto apply recommendations on top of the OptiScore recommendations actually help you in terms of scaling your business, in terms of improving your overall performance, and also boosting your efficiency. Now, one of the most important things that we see these days is that there is a lot of discussion and talk about artificial intelligence. We see that almost 93% of the brands are looking to have artificial intelligence, and they see it as a value add to their overall business strategies. In fact, they want to embed more and more artificial intelligence based marketing technologies into their overall business, and they see that marketing tech is going to expand over a range of 3 years or more. And why is artificial intelligence, after all, so important today in today's business context? Is because first of all, there is a commercial impact on it. Artificial intelligence can help you and give you a lot of leverage in terms of improving your overall return on your ad spends. It can actually improve your ROIs considerably, and that is one of the reasons why artificial intelligence is so important. At the same time, you know the market perception is so much that a lot of leaders are inclined in looking at artificial intelligence, and to be able to include artificial intelligence as part of their business growth strategies. They also want to be, or artificial intelligence or adoption of artificial intelligence technologies will also help you in terms of being able to be better prepared for the future. So once you start opting into artificial intelligence and automation, you will be able to see that more and more complexities that come in the business in the near future. You will actually be able to better prepared for that, and you will also be able to be better prepared for the changing marketing environment. And at the same time, you will be looking that there will be a growth phase in terms of being able to provide those kind of capabilities within your organization that will give you the much needed competitive edge against other competitors once you start leveraging artificial intelligence. And client satisfaction and retention is another important advantage. So once you start using artificial intelligence, it is helping you maximizing the breadth of user data available, and that will eventually help you retain more and more clients. Also for your for your employees in general, from the career development point of view, once they start improving or leveraging or learning about artificial intelligence and how it can actually improve the overall performance, there will be it will lead to more and more employee retention as well. Now, when we talk about automatically applying, implementing recommendations within auto apply, so what we see here is that just a snapshot of the Google Ads front end, and within the recommendations tab, what we see is that all of the recommendations are being surfaced. However, on the top right corner, when you will see the auto apply icon over there. Once you click on this particular auto apply icon, you will actually be surfaced with all of the recommendations that will be provided. These recommendations, will be all of the OptiScore recommendations are actually, it's a cross product, and it will be available across search, shopping, display, video, discovery, and PMAX campaign types, right? And at the same time, auto apply will be, an essential campaign management tool for you to ensure that, there is best account performance. Now, it is important for us to understand that, what I can automate and how to choose what to automate, right? It is very important for you to take that particular decision, because once you start understanding what is the reason, or what is the fundamentals behind these recommendations that are appearing, and how I can make the best use of them, you will be able to understand how to best choose which recommendations will make most sense for the various campaigns that you're running, right? Now, if you look at the entire menu of auto apply recommendations, we have 9 recommendations that fall under the maintain your ad section, whereas there are another 14 recommendations that fall under grow your business. So all the 23 recommendations that are under the auto apply recommendations bucket, we have divided them into 2 categories. One is the maintain your ad section, and the other one is grow your business section. Now, it is very important to understand that both these, buckets have a different kind of like utility in terms of how you can leverage auto apply recommendations, right? The first bucket, which is about maintain your ads, it basically helps you in keeping your campaigns and accounts up to date with best practices, right? These are hygiene recommendations, and they are basically helping you adopt into all of the Google's best practices. At the same time, you have the grow your business recommendations. The grow your business recommendations will actually help you in terms of optimizing your targets, improving your ads to get your better results from the campaigns that you're driving. So once you talk about driving more ROI from your business, well then you should look at grow your business recommendations. The most important thing is that as an advertiser, if you are new to auto apply recommendations, we would recommend that you first start using or the maintain your ad section. Once you start using the maintain your ad section, you will see that you are able to opt into these best practices, and once you are able to opt into these best practices, you will gradually can also graduate into grow your business recommendations moving forward, right? So basically, maintain your ads recommendations will be the hygiene recommendations that will drive efficiency, whereas the grow your business will be the strategic recommendations that will drive growth for your business. So if I'm talking about some of the hygiene recommendations, like remove your non-serving keywords, right? So these are once you opt into this particular recommendation, it will look into all of those particular keywords that have had minimum impressions in the last period of 13 months or so, and those particular keywords will be removed. When we talk about conflicting negative keyword recommendation, those particular keywords that are hampering or hampering the performance of your positive keywords, those particular negative keywords will be removed, right? So like this, we have a lot of recommendations within maintain your ads, like the optimize your ad rotation, right? So it will be, it will make sure that your ads are being optimized for maximum and optimal visibility, right? At the same time, your ad RSA and improve your RSA ad strength. These particular recommendations will basically look into the ad groups, make sure that all of your ad groups have at least one RSA added to all of their, uh, you know, uh, all of the ad groups. At the same time, improve your RSA ad strength will help you find out which are those particular RSAs where you have poor or average ad strength, right? So these are some of the recommendations that we would recommend within the maintain your ads category that you should opt into. Whereas once you come into the grow your business recommendations, there are certain segments of recommendations that are going to be valuable for you. The first one is the target CPA opt-in, or what we can say is that the category of opt-in recommendations. When we talk about opt-in recommendations, these are basically the smart bidding strategies that we are talking about. So within smart bidding strategies, if I were to talk about, recommendations or bidding strategies like target CPA, target ROAS, maximize conversion value, those kind of smart bidding strategies and that basically leverage the power of artificial intelligence in order to, perform at the auctions. Those particular recommendations will be helped in terms of the opt-in recommendations. And we will talk about this in greater detail in the coming slides, right? And then we have the target or the adjust your ROAS target or adjust your CPA target recommendations. Along with that, we have the broad match and the keyword recommendations as well. Now let us understand what are the benefits that accrue to an advertiser when they are looking at maintain your ads recommendations. The most important recommendation or the most important benefit that accrues to you is that once you start using these particular auto apply recommendations, you definitely are able to save a lot of time, because these recommendations definitely make most sense for you for most of your accounts. And once you start auto applying these recommendations, you basically opting into these recommendations of best practices at scale, and that basically leaves you with a lot of time to provide and to allocate your time into more strategic initiatives. Whereas when you talk about best practice adoption, so it also helps you with best practice adoptions, because most of these recommendations revolve around Google's best practices, and those best practices are being able to, or these auto apply recommendations are basically helping you opt into those best practices, right? And also in terms of the impact, because what we see is that whenever you look into or maintain your good account health and your optimization score is healthy, you overall over a long period of time, it helps you with conversions also. And why is that? Because once you start maintaining good optimization score, you basically end up having an increased ad quality, you are improving the search excellence, and you are also getting more OptiScore approvals, right? So basically overall what we see is that we did a such study, and we found that if we were to as an advertiser improve our OptiScore by around 10 points, we see in a medium to long term a 14% increase in our conversions. And this is the reason why you should, and we should definitely recommend you that you should definitely look at maintain your ad recommendations. If you are starting to opt into auto apply recommendations, I would highly recommend that you look into the whole category of maintain your ad recommendations and start opting into these recommendations, because they will help you in terms of best practice adoption, in terms of saving your time, and also overall impact that you will see in mid to long term. While the grow your business recommendations, when we talk about grow your business recommendations, what we see is that these are the strategic recommendations that will drive growth by optimizing your target and improving your ads to get better results. So now what will help happen is that the most important benefit that you will get from your grow your business recommendation is that you will be focused on profitability, because these recommendations will definitely drive more value from the ad spends that you're making. At the same time, you are capturing opportunity effectively, and this is something that we see is because all of the target adjusting recommendations that we saw, those are basically helping you whenever there is a increase in traffic. by slightly improving or your by slightly making your targets around target CPA or target ROAS more aggressive, you are actually making sure that you are tapping into maximum conversions, right? So that kind of opportunity, whenever it appears, auto apply recommendations will actually help you capture this through the grow your business recommendations. Right? At the same time, the impact of grow your business recommendations is is um, is ama- is great in terms of you will be able to drive the overall strategy of your account, and that a auto apply recommendations will ensure that you are reacting quickly to the changes in the options as well. Now, as marketers for each of our accounts, we will have different strategies or different marketing objectives. Now, if your marketing objective is, if you are having lead generation itself, right? So, lead generation itself as a marketing objective that you have, auto apply recommendations will actually help you, because, once you have lead generation as an objective, you would want more and more focus on conversions, right? So you would like to see that more and more conversions happening for your particular accounts, and you would like to look into these conversions being improved. And how, if you see in the grow your business segment, you will see target CPA as a recommendation, or a set CPA target, or an adjust CPA target. All of these auto apply recommendations will actually enable you to actually improve the conversions from your intended list of accounts. At the same time, if you have online or offline sales business, then that is your main objective. In that case, we do understand that instead of conversions alone, it will be conversion value that will be your main objective. And in that case, also, we recommend that you use auto apply recommendations. These set of auto apply recommendations actually will help you. If you see on the grow your business side, we have most of the conversion value recommendations that will take your conversion value or the target ROAS that is intended for your online and offline businesses, and these particular recommendations will actually help you with in terms of online and offline businesses as well, right? Because you want to drive conversion value as an intended target, right? So what we see is that as an advertiser, whether it is lead generation as your marketing objective, or your online and offline sales business as your marketing objective, auto apply recommendations and the set of auto apply recommendations displayed here would actually be helping you in terms of improving or achieving your overall marketing objectives in the long term. Now, now that we know that what are the intended benefits that we accrue from auto apply recommendations, both from the maintain your ads as well as the grow your business categories, how can you identify the strategic recommendations that are best suited for you, right? So as an advertiser, I'm sure that most of you, if you are beginning to use auto apply recommendations, once you look into the menu of the recommendations, you will get overwhelmed to see so many recommendations being there, right? But I'm sure that with good amount of using auto apply recommendations as a tool, you would actually eventually be able to understand which are the recommendations that make best sense for you. And once you start understanding what is the reason and what is the reason behind these recommendations appearing in the first place, or what is the use of these recommendations, you would be able to identify which are the strategic recommendations that are best for which particular account that you have, right? Now, the two category of recommendations that you will see within the grow your business recommendations, one are the smart bidding recommendation, and the other one is the keyword and coverage recommendations. These smart bidding recommendations will actually ensure that your campaigns are leveraging, most optimal bidding strategy based on performance impact and market trends. Right? So basically, smart bidding recommendations, using auto apply with smart bidding recommendations would greatly help you in terms of, first of all, making sure that your accounts are using the most optimal bidding strategy that makes sense for you, right? And at the same time, they are also able to understand that one is the opportunity arising for you to adjust your targets in terms of your smart bidding recommendations. They will also help you in assisting you to adjust or to set relevant targets or realistic targets that will help you get the maximum conversions. So the whole cohort of auto apply recommendations, like the opt-in recommendations, the target change recommendations, the target setting recommendations, these categories of recommendations within the grow your business category would actually help you in terms of leveraging these particular recommendations and making sure that these recommendations actually help you in taking you towards the most optimal bidding strategy that should be placed for your accounts in order to win the best auctions and have the most probabilistic conversions that are possible. And at the same time, you will be driving the overall strategy of your account. And you can also respond to all of the changes that are happening in the auction very quickly, and that may not be possible if you're using any manual bidding strategies or you're trying to manage it all manually, right? So this is one of the most intended targets why we introduce smart bidding strategies and smart bidding recommendations, is because as an advertiser you would be able to understand and you will be able to leverage auto apply recommendations to be able to participate in auctions more dynamically, in terms of being able to understand the changes that are happening and being able to respond to those changes effectively. At the same time, the keyword and coverage recommendations that are like the broad match recommendation. Now, if you use broad match individually, right, it is definitely going to improve your coverage. But when you combine broad match with the smart bidding recommendations, that is when you get the most optimal results. And why we say that is because by using broad match, you're effectively improving your coverage, right? And you are expanding your coverage to get the most relevant auctions that you want to participate in. But through smart bidding recommendations, it will actually be able to filter out which are those probabilistic conversions that are more contextual for you, which are those particular options where you will have the highest probability of winning those particular conversions, and being able to decide whether those recommendations or those options have to be participated in, right? So that is how the whole combination of smart bidding with broad match will actually help you in terms of your overall conversions by using the broad match strategy. And they are also backed by simulations that predict that you will receive more conversions at a similar or a better cost. Now, one of the most important categories that I mentioned within the grow your business was the smart bidding opt-in recommendations. Right? So once you see the whole menu of auto apply recommendations within the grow your business category, you will see the TCPA opt-in or the TROAS opt-in recommendations. Now, what are these opt-in recommendations and how we can use the best, or how what are the most important benefits of these particular opt-in recommendations? So basically, these opt-in recommendations are there to help you in terms of being able to opt into these recommendations as and when your account becomes eligible to be opted into a particular smart bidding recommendation, right? But once you use the auto apply, you basically automating this process, and you are allowing Google to understand and to decide when is the best time for you to actually opt into a particular smart bidding strategy. Now, what are the intended benefits of using this particular recommendations, right? You first of all, you're doing performance optimization because you're ensuring that your accounts are always on best possible bidding strategies for their campaign goals, and they will never leave the opportunity for efficient uplift on the table, right? So you're basically ensuring that most of your recommendations will be opted in real time when the opportunity arises, right? And also you are actually future proofing, right? Because you are actually able to use recommendations, and these recommendations will be moving up the ladder and not down, right? So what I mean by that is that if you are currently on maximize conversion opt-in, after that you will be able to move into TCP opt-in, and then you will be able to move into TROAS opt-in, right? And then you will be able to move into maximize conversion value opt-in, right? So that is how you will be actually moving up the ladder in terms of the most highest recommendation that is available for that particular bidding strategy that you can leverage, right? And at the same time, the competitive advantage that you get, because you are able to understand that these smart bidding menu means you may miss out on some of the uplift opportunities. But using auto apply smart bidding opportunities, you are able to opt into these recommendations in real time and make sure that you have that particular competitive edge. Now, the other very important category is the smart bidding target adjustment recommendations. Now, how can these target adjustment recommendations actually help you? Right. So first of all, they will be able to help you in terms of giving you a real-time response to auctions. So basically, whenever there is an opportunity where an auction presents a greater opportunity for conversions, you would actually be able to adjust your targets accordingly in order to win the best possible conversions. Right. At the same time, these are very forward-looking simulations, so they will be able to predict in accurately as to when is that particular time when you need to actually adjust your targets in order to win the maximum conversions possible. And you will also be able to increase your volumes of conversions through these biddings more competitively in auctions. Now, uh, why should we add broad match keywords or add new keywords automatically, right? So one of the most important reasons is that when you opt into adding broad match keywords automatically, you basically, whenever you're using broad match, you have to club it with smart bidding. And basically, once you start using broad match along with smart bidding, then you are basically able to focus on high performance queries, right? You're also able to uh, respond to real-time response to challenges in user queries that might be relevant to your business. So not just that you are getting the opportunity of improving your coverage through broad match recommendations, but by using that along with smart bidding recommendations and within the auto apply framework, you are exactly able to predict as to when will that opportunity arise, when you will have the best possible opportunity of using broad match along with smart bidding, and to be able to utilize that to improve your conversions and have a competitive edge. And also because these keyword recommendations are based on forward looking simulations, so basically you will be able to get a good advantage in terms of being able to opt into these recommendations in the most appropriate time when these recommendations make most sense for you. Now, what are the best practices to get the most out of auto applying recommendations? Now, what we see is that once we have understood that we have the maintain your ads recommendations and the grow your business auto apply recommendations, and we are able to leverage those particular recommendations in a way that they make the most important overall account health for our accounts. We also have to see that we have to have some account best practices to ensure that we get the most out of all of these artificial intelligence powered solutions and recommendations, right? So some of the things that we need to keep in mind when we are looking into or when we are managing auto apply recommendations and OptiScore recommendations, right? So first of all, it is very important that we have to review and our privacy recommendations. So within the privacy recommendations, either it is a global site tag or the enhanced conversions or the consent mode. These are some of the things that we need to look into and make sure that we are following the best practices in terms of these particular recommendations, and we don't miss out on all of these uh, because once we miss out on all of these, then we will not be able to leverage the power of artificial intelligence and auto apply recommendations, right? Also, we have to check that your conversion actions are set up properly. So it is very important that you make sure that your conversion actions are set up properly, and Google is actually able to understand what is your intended conversion action. It is conversion value, or is it just to get conversions, right? And through that, it can actually make the most important decisions, right? Also, you have to see that your brand campaigns are using an optimal bidding strategy, right? So very important to see that once you're using brand campaigns, you want your particular campaigns to appear on top of the page, right? So you basically use the target impression strategy that will be most optimal for you to use during the brand campaigns. At the same time, you have to see that these recommendations also have the accurate conversion values, right? So please select accurate conversion values, because once you select accurate conversion values, that basically assists the recommendations engine and the algorithm in able to understand what is your intended objective in terms of your marketing objectives that are there, and that is very clear, right? So that definitely helps. And also, you have to set optimal budgets and review budget recommendations regularly, right? So all changes will stay within existing budgets. Auto apply recommendations, it is very important to note that all of the auto apply recommendations, right, do not suggest any budget increasing recommendations, right? All of the budget increasing recommendations, they sit in your OptiScore bucket. So within auto apply, none of the budget increasing or budget changing recommendations are included, right? So this is a very important point, and you have to make sure that we understand this. Now, as an advertiser, what is the intended or the important thing that we need to do? Well, first of all, once we have understood the entire, idea about OptiScore recommendations as well as auto apply recommendations, the chronology says that you first visit the recommendations page, you look at your RSA ad assets to review all of the available opportunities, right? Then you apply these recommendations and follow up, in terms of what are these recommendations. Try to see which recommendations make most sense for you and start opting into those recommendations. Also try to see that you are able to review your optimization recommendations from time to time. So basically always try to see that these recommendations, you are able to review these recommendations periodically, so that you have a good understanding of how they are performing. And after that, once you are confident about some of the recommendations that you are manually applying regularly over a period of time for certain accounts, you can start opting into those recommendations using auto apply recommendations. But even then, you should always set a rigor that you can periodically or bi-weekly, you can basically go to your recommendations dashboard, you can look into those recommendations that you have opted in, right? Even for the auto apply recommendations, once you go into the the history, within the history, you will be able to see all of the auto apply recommendations. Within the auto apply recommendations, you will be able to see what are the auto apply recommendations that you have applied in the past, and you should look into them and monitor them carefully, right? So I think we are almost at the end of the session today. Thank you so much. It was definitely a great experience for us to be getting the opportunity to deliver this particular session with you. And this is a particular feedback form, so we would just like to know, we would love to have your feedback. So please scan this particular QR code and put in your feedback. Any last thoughts, Neha?
All good from my end. Just to give you a quick call out, there was a scanner where you could become a part of PE community also. And if you want to watch this video, you can register yourself on Ads on Air, and you can again watch this video. The recording would be available soon. Thank you. Thank you for participating and for your valuable product feedback too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day ahead.